So hello all. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about uh, Numidia. Uh, in the last videos that I was talking about was about North Africa, and Numidia is actually a was at in the past during the Roman times. A Roman province. I mean, there were a lot of wars going on that happened, and so Numidia, as it's stated historically, it's a region in North Africa, and it did play a significant role in Roman history, and is often highlighted in movies and historical narratives for many reasons. Now, why I mention this is because, recently I watched Gladiator 2, and what I noticed is that, when the movie starts, it always starts, saying Numidia, and then it says 280 or something like that. The same thing with, I believe, the first Gladiator movie. Again, they mentioned Numidia at that time. So yeah, so it was at that time, like a in an area with a population of what we called the Berbers, or if you actually put the real term, the Amazigh people. So they lived in that area, and present day Numidia would have stretched from Algeria to Tunisia, but except for the eastern part, so which is Carthage, because Carthage was an empire of its own at that time. So very big history, in if you talk about the if you talk about Numidia itself. So going back, about the historical narratives, and the reasons of Numidia being mentioned, number one, it was a strategic location. So Numidia covered parts of present-day Algeria and Tunisia, and situated between the Roman provinces of Africa Proconsularis and Mauritania. So its location, it made it a critical buffer zone and a key area for control over North Africa. So especially during the Punic Wars and the expansion of the Roman Empire. Not going to get into much of the Punic Wars. This will be a long video, and probably I will talk about it in a future video. So second, right, is the role of the Punic Wars. So in this case here, Numidia was instrumental during the Punic Wars between Rome and Carthage. See, I mentioned Carthage because Carthage was its own, empire. So its leaders often shifted alliances. So what we have is, give you some names here, Massinissa. So he was the king of the Massili tribe in Numidia. So initially it was allied with Carthage, but later sided with Rome during the Second Punic War, which was between 218 to 201 BC. So Massinissa's cavalry was decisive in the Roman victory at the Battle of Zama, which occurred in 202 BC, and that inevitably ended the war. After the war, Rome rewarded Massinissa by allowing him to expand his kingdom, so making Numidia a strong ally and a critical player in the region. So 3 was rich natural resources. in Numidia. So Numidia was known for its fertile lands, right, and was a key producer of grains, olives, and other agricultural products. So these resources made it an economic asset both to Carthage, when Numidia when it was an ally with Carthage, and after the Second Punic War with Rome, and contributing to the prosperity of the Roman Empire, because the Roman Empire was an empire that expanded throughout its existence. So number 4, if we keep on going in time, so you also have the Jugurthine War. So the Jugurthine War, which was around 112 to 105 BC, brought Numidia into the spotlight. So Jugurtha, spelled with a J, Jugurtha, he was a Numidian king, and resisted Roman influence and corruption, because, as you know, there was a lot of corruption, during the different times in the Roman leadership, right? So it led to a prolonged conflict that tested Rome's military and political systems. So this war was significant for Rome, as it exposed internal corruption and inefficiencies, leading to reforms and the rise of figures of Gaius Marius. 5 is the cultural and military influence. So Numidian cavalry was highly valued for its skill and mobility. So these late cavalry units were integral to Roman military campaigns and became a staple in Roman armies. And you can imagine, Rome, the size of its military, which went north, to the Gauls, the Visigoths, Germania, Britannia, to present-day Spain, and going all over, the North Africa. So culturally, Numidia showcased a blender of Berber, Amazigh, Punic, and Roman influences, contributing to the rich tapestry of the ancient Mediterranean world. 6 was the Romanization and legacy. So under Roman rule, Numidia was gradually integrated into the empire. So that's why I mentioned that that Numidia was, during the Roman time, eventually it became a Roman province. So cities such as Sirta, so that's modern day Constantine, it's more near the east of Algeria, became centers of Roman administration, culture, and architecture. So the region's historical significance and its dynamic interactions, with Rome, make it a fascinating backdrop for storytelling in films. That's hence, when I mentioned the Gladiator or Gladiator 2, where they, you have like a Roman army going in, they go and they seize like, an area in Numidia, and eventually, claim it as its as a Roman province. That's one. You could see here, in the picture here, there's certain areas, in Numidia where you could see Rome. So like this here, you look at it here, this modern day Algeria here, in this western Algeria, middle, and then going to eastern Algeria right here. This area is Tunisia over here, and then this area is Carthage. So this is all like the province here of Numidia. You can see it's more northern, North Africa. Near the Mediterranean. So the prominence of Numidia in movies, likely reflects its dramatic history. So its role as a key player in the rise of Rome, and its depiction as an exotic and significant region in the ancient Mediterranean. So it's very interesting history. Again, I'm from Algeria, and you could see Numidia, is it's a big influence. I mean, it's has a big history. I mean, if you look at this here, this is here a picture of it's it looks like a coin, or it looks like maybe a picture here, backdrop of Masinissa. And this picture here, which is mentioned Gaius Marius, when he when he had the war with Jugurtha in Numidia, and eventually, conquered Numidia at that eventually. And so that's you can see him in the horse backdrop here in the Roman army, and I guess this is probably Jugurtha. So yeah, like I mentioned, from my background, that's it's a great influence, and with the big history, of Numidia as a whole, how it was, and again, not just the Roman Empire, it goes back even, I'm sure, before the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Phoenician Empire, right? And you keep on going. I mean, here, you have the coinage. So yes, so there were coins. So they actually developed coins. You can see, interesting. There were They had pictures of elephants, right? So coins that they used, in the actual civilization of Numidia. I have other pictures here. This looks like a battle. So the Great Berber Kingdom of Numidia. So in the shadow of Rome. Again, more coinage here. So this is the mysterious royal tombs of Numidia at that time. And there's many structures, there, and also a lot of Roman structures in Numidia. Myself personally, I've been there. The Roman ruins that I've seen were in Thebest, so that's present day Tbilisi. So a lot of old Roman. I guess you can say there was a church, like I can see tiles. There's an amphitheater there, other horse stables, structures there. So that's just one area. The other is Timgad, another area, where you could see a lot of Roman ruin structures there. Constantine as well. That's you could see an old bridge, part of a Roman bridge, because if you think about Constantine, it's almost like almost a big mountainous area with a lot of ravines, and you go there, and probably if you have fear of heights, I wouldn't recommend going there. But I mean visiting. But again, it's really great area. I mean, like how they built, like, how they built structures on a mountain, and the bridges that they built there. So I wanted to narrate a story because I like to talk about the history of Numidia, but at the same time I want to talk about a story because, again, not just in films, but some inspirational stories, of the history of that area, and the people, as well as the leaders or the kings at that time, that ruled. So this one is titled, "The Warrior Who Dreamed of Unity," the story of Massinissa. So on the sun-drenched land of Numidia, where the desert sands met fertile valleys, lived a young prince named Massinissa. Born into the powerful Massili tribe, he grew up hearing tales of mighty Carthage to the north and the growing power of Rome across the sea. But his heart ached for something greater. He dreamed of uniting the scattered Numidian tribes into a single powerful kingdom. Massinissa's journey began with betrayal. During the Second Punic War, his father allied with Carthage, and Massinissa fought as a Carthaginian ally. He distinguished himself in battle, but when Carthage began favoring a rival Numidian faction, Massinissa found himself abandoned and betrayed. Rather than despair, he turned this betrayal into an opportunity. Massinissa saw a chance to fulfill his dream of uniting Numidia, not through revenge, but through vision and determination. He approached Rome, offering his loyalty in exchange for their support. The Romans, eager for a skilled ally, accepted. Thus began a new chapter in Massinissa's life, one defined by strategy, resilience, and an unyielding belief in his vision. In the decisive Battle of Zama in 202 BC, Massinissa and his Numidian cavalry played a pivotal role. Charging with unmatched speed and precision, they helped the Roman general Scipio Africanus defeat the legendary Carthaginian commander Hannibal. This victory not only marked the end of the Second Punic War, but also cemented Massinissa's position as a trusted ally of Rome. Rome rewarded him generously, allowing him to expand his kingdom. But Massinissa's challenges were far from over. The Numidian tribes were fiercely independent, their loyalty fractured by centuries of rivalry. Massinissa knew that uniting them required more than military might. It demanded vision and leadership. He began by rebuilding his lands, introducing advanced farming techniques learned from the Romans. His reforms transformed Numidia into a granary of the ancient world, feeding both his people and the Roman Empire. Massinissa's rule became a symbol of prosperity and stability, drawing the scattered tribes under his banner. But his greatest legacy was not in conquest or reform. It was in his unshakable belief that his people were stronger together. In his later years, as he stood up atop the fortified walls of his capital, Sirta, which is present-day Constantine, looking out over the kingdom he had built, Massinissa reflected on his journey. To rise from betrayal, he said, to turn enemies into allies, and to unite a divided land. This is the path of greatness. A kingdom is not built by swords alone, but by the hearts and dreams of its people. Masinissa ruled for over 50 years, a remarkable feat in an age of constant turmoil. His legacy endured through his descendants and the lasting unity he brought to Numidia. So, Masinissa's story teaches us that adversity is not the end, but the beginning of greatness. So he turned betrayal into opportunity, division into unity, and dreams into reality. So in every challenge we face, we have the choice to rise above, to lead with vision, and to build something lasting. So let the sands of Numidia remind us, greatness is born not in ease, but in the fire of resilience and the courage to dream. So what dreams will you bring to life? So that's my end, of what I want to share, and of Numidia, and I'll speak more about Numidia and other events. So for the one event that I'd like to talk about in the future will be the Jugurthan War with the Numidian king Jugurtha. So where he resisted Rome, and yeah. So if you like this video, or if you have any comments, or you want to share, you want to engage, feel free to comment below in the description, and also too, if you like this video, please like. If you're new, please subscribe. Like to grow the community, of like-minded, individuals, or people from North Africa as well. I don't mind, sharing thoughts, of our history, of North Africa, because North Africa is it's like a storybook in itself, which one can write volumes, volume after volume, that can fit, like a library. It's a jewel, it's a jewel of North Africa, and also to the Berbers who lived there from present day, going all the way back in history. It's a very, very novel history. That's what I wanted to say, like of ups, highs, lows, alliances, betrayals, rise and fall of kingdoms, and it teaches us, as well, of how, a people, live together in harmony, united, how there were charismatic and leaders that were perseverant, in bringing together the people as a whole into one, as a one, to resist, like the outside forces, and live as one nation. Just like even today, yes, we have today. You have Morocco, you have Algeria, you have Tunisia, you have Libya. You can even, also they mention Mauritania as well. I mean, yes, they are countries today, but inside, if you think about it, inside it, it's you have one people. You have the Amazigh people, the Berber people. That's the true, the original, the Numidians, right? The natives of North Africa. So thank you for watching all, and we'll talk again soon, and we'll if you have any suggestions as well of what you want me to talk about as well, I can again put it right in the comments, and I will think about that as well. All right, thanks all.